Hey guys, it's Chris at Highline Guitars. You're watching another one of my YouTube guitar building videos. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope that by the end of this video, I'll have earned your subscription. And of course, to everybody watching, if you enjoy this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. That's a great way to support my channel without having to spend a dime, and it tells YouTube to promote my videos. And of course, if you'd like to help support the channel financially, you can visit eguitarplans.com, or you can head to my Highline Guitars YouTube merch store, which is displayed below the description for this video, and you can purchase all kinds of things that will help to support the channel, plus you'll be getting something in return. What I wanted to talk about in today's video is I actually want to do one of those videos where I ask you, the viewer, a question. And the question I want to ask is, in the modern era, the 21st century, is the selection of wood and components in an electric guitar as important to you as it once was in the past with regards to the tone and sustain of a guitar? Now, the reason why I'm asking this is because lately I have answered some questions from viewers on YouTube, as well as emails that folks have sent to me regarding these different choices that you can make when designing and building an electric guitar, or actually when purchasing a guitar as well. And folks will ask about everything from the type of material that a nut is made out of, the material that's used in the fret wire, how a pickup is designed, the kind of wire in the coils, the type of magnet, the Gauss strength, the shape of the magnetic field, the type of bridge that's used. And all these questions are geared towards how those choices can affect the tone. Now, in the past, if you go back to like 1950s, 60s, 70s, those choices were critical when it came to shaping the tone and sustain of the guitar that you're trying to build or that you're looking to purchase. And that was really all we had. There was a little bit in terms of some pedal effects that were available early on, as well as the design of the amplifier. And we began to really notice a shift when we started to see solid state amps, and then eventually with the computer revolution that started to gain its foothold in the early 80s. We started to see digital technology having an impact on the tone of the instruments that we were playing. But it seemed to me that in those early days, a guitar player, if they wanted to have a variety of tone in the instruments that they play, they would have to purchase a whole bunch of different guitars. So you'd have your Strat for Strat tone, you'd have your Tele for Tele tone, you'd have your Les Paul for Les Paul tone, your SG for SG tone, and the list goes on and on and on. Well, in the modern era, we have all sorts of new choices that we can make that have nothing to do with the wood selection or the component selection in the guitar itself. We can choose from a variety of different effects pedals, preamps, the amplifier itself, software that we can load onto a laptop. All of these different choices can dramatically affect the tone of the guitar that we're playing. Now, in some of the comments that I have addressed from viewers, I noticed that people tend to get very emotional about what they believe to be true as far as the selection of woods and components and how it relates to the tone of their guitars. So I know that probably at this time there are, I would say, two camps. The old school camp that wants to build guitars where the choice of the wood and the components will affect the tone, and then the other camp that knows that the outgoing signal from the guitar can be wildly manipulated by modern digital technology to the point where you can make a Stratocaster sound like a Les Paul and vice versa. and it's not that difficult to do. It does mean you have to invest a little bit of money in the software or some of the external hardware that's required to do that. But it is certainly feasible to do it, and the quality has improved dramatically since it was first introduced in the mid-80s. Now, personally, I'm not saying that the component selection or the wood selection isn't important anymore, because it absolutely is. However, I've shifted from focusing on making those choices based on what the tone or the sustain is going to be like, to making sure that the wood and all the components that I'm going to use in a guitar are of the highest quality. I want to make sure that the wood is going to be easy to work with, it's going to be durable, it's going to be strong, it's not going to move a lot. I want to make sure that the components are of a high quality that isn't going to wear out really quickly and is going to perform reliably, especially when it's adjusted frequently. So that's kind of where my focus is, on component selection and wood selection. But when it comes to tone and sustain, I'm not as worried about it as I once was in the past. And that's because I know that the person who will play the guitar can plug it into all sorts of different effects and wildly change the tone and sustain of the guitar to suit whatever needs. And then of course you can save presets so that you can quickly just choose a specific set of adjustment features to manipulate that tone and sustain. And you can be in a situation where you need to have a certain sound for a song that you would like to perform for people. So you would select a preset that is going to give you the tone that you need for that song. And then once you're done with that song, if you're going to play a different song, you can change to a different preset to get the sound that you need for that song. So, I know it sounds kind of high-techy and all that kind of stuff, and believe me, I know from having built a lot of guitars with CNC that there are a lot of you out there who are very concerned and emotionally connected to the methods and techniques that are used to make guitars. And there are times when I start talking about CNC and people get really upset about that. So I know that when I start talking about the use of digital technology to manipulate the tone of a guitar, it's probably going to elicit those same sort of emotions. But I would really like to know from you, the viewer, in the modern era, making guitars or selecting a guitar to purchase, are you as concerned about some of those details regarding the component selection and the wood selection as we once were? Or are you aware and happy with the idea that you can use modern digital technology to make a guitar sound any way you want it to? And if that's the case, I'd also like to know what it is that you use to manipulate the signal that's coming out of your guitar before you hear it after it leaves the amplifier or the speaker. I want to know, are you using software? Are you using pedal effects, preamps? What is your rig rundown set up like for this? And do you find that with that kind of technology, you only need to really own one, maybe two guitars? Because you can make your guitar sound like so many different kind of instruments that it may not be necessary to purchase a whole room full of guitars to get all the different tones and sounds that you would like to have available at your fingertips whenever you would like to choose a different tone. So let me know in the comments section down below, and let's see if we can get a conversation going and see, maybe get an idea of where people's minds are at here as we are still in the first quarter of the 21st century. It's going to be interesting to see what people are thinking and doing now, because I think that's going to translate to what is going to happen in the latter part of the 21st century as we go forward. So I hope you find this video to be at least thought-provoking, and if so, give it a thumbs up, post your comment down below, and let's see if we can get that conversation going. And as always, Take care, stay safe, and I hope you'll be back for future episodes.